Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're chasing someone, whether in love, business, or friendships, and the more you chase, the further they pull away? It's not just in your head. This is a classic power move. One of the most powerful psychological tactics is the illusion of independence. I don't need you, but you need me. This isn't just about dating. It's a mindset mastered by skilled negotiators, savvy marketers, and influential public figures. And today, I want to break it all down for you, step by step. In plain English, think of this like a coach or a teacher walking you through a powerful life lesson. Part 1. Why this mindset is so powerful. Let's dive into the psychology first. In his book Influence, Robert Cialdini explains that people are more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the hope of gaining something. This is called loss aversion. So when someone seems like they don't need you, like they're totally fine with or without you, your brain starts to panic a little. You feel like you might be missing out on something valuable. That's when the control shifts. Suddenly you start chasing what you didn't think mattered that much before. This isn't about evil manipulation. It's just a psychological principle that comes from how our brains work. We value what's hard to get. We crave validation, and when it's not given, we want it even more. Part 2. How it shows up in real life. In romantic relationships, let's talk dating. Have you ever noticed that the person who seems the most aloof gets the most attention? That's not a coincidence. When someone acts hard to get, they trigger the psychological response we just discussed. And it works both ways. A woman might act cold and the guy becomes more interested. Or a guy might show no emotional interest, and the woman starts wondering, why isn't he into me? Everyone else usually is. Here's a fun fact. Research in social psychology shows that perceived exclusivity makes someone more attractive. When you look like you have options, people assume you're more valuable. In business and sales, the same principle applies in business. Imagine you're selling a house. If the buyer thinks you're desperate, they'll try to lowball you. But if they believe you have plenty of other interested buyers, or that you're not in a rush, they're more likely to accept your price. A friend of mine, fresh out of high school, worked as a property sales rep. He used a smart but honest trick. He created a presentation board showing 10 homes left on limited time promo, not to deceive, but to highlight that these units were genuinely in demand. At the top, he wrote in bold, "Last chance, bonus trip to Vegas," house which was an actual company incentive. This made buyers feel like they were getting an exclusive, time-sensitive deal, encouraging them to decide faster, without any fake pressure. This is what we call creating perceived value. I don't need this deal, but maybe you do. In leadership is another great example. True leaders rarely beg for loyalty. Take Oprah Winfrey. She left mainstream TV to launch her own network. It wasn't just bold, it showed independence. And what happened? People followed her, because confidence and independence are magnetic. Part 3. The psychology behind it. Why does this all work so well? According to reactance theory, when people feel like their freedom is being limited, they try to reclaim it. So when you show emotional independence, people become more curious and interested. And from an evolutionary standpoint, we're drawn to status, mystery, and challenge. If someone is too easy to get, our brains subconsciously lower their value. But when someone seems self-sufficient, we naturally assume they're powerful. Part 4. Flipping the script. Using this without being toxic. Now here's where it gets important. This tactic isn't about being cold or manipulative in a cruel way. It's about holding your ground, setting boundaries, and not giving your power away easily. If you're in a job interview, for example, don't come off as desperate. Mention that you're also considering other offers. You'll instantly seem more valuable. It's the same in dating. Be respectful, be kind, but don't bend over backward to win someone's attention. Your independence is your leverage. This tactic should empower you. not turn you into a jerk. When used with integrity, it becomes a way of maintaining self-worth and emotional intelligence. Part 5. Real-life case study. Back to that real estate friend of mine. One time he sold a unit to a client, but the company double-booked and gave it to someone else. Instead of apologizing and begging the client to choose another unit, he called her in and said, "Ma'am, I just heard there might be a garbage site planned near your current unit. I think we should reconsider." He then offered her another unit, slightly better and a bit more expensive, and positioned it like he was doing her a huge favor. She agreed. Not only did he save the sale, but he also made extra commission. Now, I'm not saying you should lie or manipulate unethically, but the way you present a situation does matter. If you maintain your confidence and subtly reframe the narrative, you can shift the power dynamic in your favor. Part 6. When it backfires. Look, this isn't a one-size-fits-all trick. If overused or if done without emotional intelligence, it can backfire. If you act too detached, people might assume you're arrogant or disinterested. The key is balance. Be firm but kind. Be confident, not cocky. And always remember, relationships, whether personal or professional, thrive on mutual respect. If the other person isn't reciprocating after you've made your value clear, maybe it's time to walk away. Because at the end of the day, you should also be able to say, "I don't need this." This mindset of "I don't need you, but you need me" isn't about ego. It's about power, presence, and perspective. When you know your value, you stop begging for validation. You attract opportunities, people, and success, not by chasing them, but by being grounded in your own worth. So next time you're negotiating a deal, trying to make a connection, or even just navigating life, remember this principle. Be the one who walks into the room knowing they bring something to the table. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. Tony Gaskins. Own your worth. Let others come to you, and when they do, make sure it's on your terms. Thanks for tuning in. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below about a time you felt this power dynamic at play. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights like this. See you in the next one.